Mickela Panday'S Weekly Delusion, an editorial by Professor Wall Street.
Once again, Mickela Panday, political leader of the non-existent Patriotic Front and recipient of exactly 0 electoral seats, has taken to Facebook with her weekly vendetta against Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. This time, her target is the government's handling of the zones of special operation, Zozo legislation, and commentary on independent senators. Her post, grandiosely titled, "This is not leadership, it is arrogance," represents yet another installment in Panday's desperate quest for political relevance. What's equally troubling is the Trinidad Guardian's complicity in amplifying this drivel. The newspaper has positioned itself as Panday's personal megaphone, reliably publishing her weekly attacks under headlines like "Panday criticizes attacks on independent senators," as if the pronouncements of a politically rejected figure deserve serious consideration.
Let me be clear. Mickela Panday is a non-entity in Trinidad and Tobago's political landscape. Her party secured 0 seats, 0 mandates, 0 public confidence, yet she presumes to lecture the democratically elected Prime Minister on leadership, arrogance, and governance. The audacity is breathtaking. Here are 10 reasons why Panday's latest Facebook rant should be dismissed for what it is. Irrelevant noise from a political has been desperately clinging to attention. 1. 0 electoral mandate equals 0 credibility. Mickela Panday leads a party that received a resounding rejection from the electorate. The Patriotic Front won exactly 0 seats in the general election. Not one single constituency believed Panday should represent them, yet she positions herself as an authority on leadership and governance. On what basis? Political commentary requires either electoral legitimacy or intellectual credibility. Panday possesses neither. Her pronouncements carry the weight of someone shouting from the political wilderness, because that's precisely where voters placed her. 2. Deliberate misrepresentation of the Prime Minister's statement. Panday claims the Prime Minister told citizens to accept our laws or fend for yourselves against criminals. This is a blatant distortion. PM Persad-Bissessar's actual point was about the constitutional process. If independent senators block crime-fighting legislation, they bear responsibility for the consequences of inaction. That's not threatening citizens, it's stating political reality. But Panday, like her P&M enablers, traffics in misrepresentation because honest debate would expose her emptiness. 3. Selective amnesia about constitutional reality. Panday suddenly demands constitutional reform regarding independent senators as if this issue materialized yesterday. Where was this passionate call for reform during her political career? Where was it when her party campaigned for office? Nowhere. Now, conveniently, when the UNC government needs Senate support for critical legislation, Panday discovers constitutional concerns. This opportunistic flip-flopping is transparent and pathetic. 4. The Guardian's shameful complicity. The Trinidad Guardian has degraded itself into Mickela Panday's personal publicity department. Week after week, they publish her anti-Kamla screeds as if they constitute legitimate political analysis. Why? What journalistic value exists in amplifying the Facebook rants of someone voters decisively rejected? The Guardian's partnership with Panday reveals a troubling bias. They're not reporting news. They're manufacturing opposition where none organically exists. This is propaganda masquerading as journalism. 5. No alternative solutions, only criticism. True to form, Panday offers 0 constructive alternatives. How would she address the crime crisis terrorizing communities? What's her legislative approach to balancing security and civil liberties? Silence. She's mastered the art of criticism without contribution, attacking from the sidelines while offering nothing of substance. This is the luxury of political irrelevance. No accountability, no responsibility, just endless carping. 6. Hypocritical lecturing on governing for the people. Panday concludes by demanding leadership that understands it, governs for the people, not over them. The irony is delicious. The people spoke clearly in the election. They rejected Panday and chose Kamla Persad-Bissessel. Yet Panday presumes to lecture the people's choice about democratic values. She who commands zero public support presumes to know what the people need better than their elected representatives. This is delusional arrogance masquerading as democratic principle. 7. Convenient alliance with PNM talking points. Notice how perfectly Panday's criticisms align with PNM propaganda. Her language about arrogance, contempt, and bullying mirrors exactly what opposition figures like Brian Manning peddle. This is no coincidence. Panday has positioned herself as a useful tool for PNM interests, someone they can point to and say, see, even non-PNM people criticize Kamla. She's become a political mercenary doing the PNM's dirty work while pretending independence. The Patriotic Front, more like the PNM's pathetic franchise. 8. Ignoring the real arrogance, unelected interference. Panday calls the PM's comments arrogant, while demonstrating spectacular lack of self-awareness. What's truly arrogant is a politician rejected by voters presuming to override the democratic will by weakly attacking the people's elected leader. What's arrogant is expecting newspapers to treat her rejected candidacy as worthy of serious coverage. What's arrogant is a zero-seat party leader positioning herself as the conscience of the nation. Physician, heal thyself. 9. Transparent vendetta against PM Persad-Bissessel. This isn't Panday's first, second, or even 10th attack on the Prime Minister. It's a weekly ritual. The targets change: traffic legislation, Venezuela policy, Senate procedures, but the script remains identical. Kamla is arrogant. Kamla is contemptuous. Kamla doesn't understand governance. This pattern reveals Panday's attacks for what they are: a personal vendetta dressed up as political commentary. Perhaps it's jealousy. Perhaps it's bitterness over electoral rejection. Regardless, it's transparent and tiresome. 10. The distraction from real governance. Here's what Panday's weekly Facebook theatrics accomplish: absolutely nothing constructive. While she pontificates about constitutional reform she never championed, real leaders are grappling with a crime crisis that claims lives daily. While she manufactures outrage about Senate procedures, the government is working to protect communities terrorized by criminals. Panday's contribution to solving Trinidad and Tobago's challenges? Zero. Her contribution to noise pollution? Substantial. In conclusion, the bottom line: Mickela Panday is a political non-entity, desperately clinging to relevance through weekly attacks on Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessel. The electorate delivered their verdict on her leadership: 0 seats, 0 confidence, 0 mandate. Yet she presumes to lecture the people's democratically elected leader on governance, arrogance, and constitutional values. The Trinidad Guardian's complicity in amplifying this drivel is journalistic malpractice. They've transformed themselves from newspaper to Panday's personal press office, dutifully publishing every Facebook screed as if it merits serious consideration. This is not journalism, it's propaganda. Citizens should ask themselves, Why does a politically rejected figure receive weekly platforms to attack the elected government? Why does the Guardian partner with someone voters decisively dismissed? And why should anyone care what Mickela Panday thinks about leadership when she couldn't convince a single constituency to grant her a seat? Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is making difficult decisions to address Trinidad and Tobago's crime crisis within constitutional frameworks. That's leadership. Mickela Panday posting weekly Facebook rants from a political wilderness is not opposition. It's irrelevance, desperately pretending otherwise. The people spoke in the election. They chose Kamla. They rejected Panday. Perhaps it's time both Panday and The Guardian respect that democratic verdict instead of manufacturing artificial controversies for political points and newspaper clicks. Trinidad and Tobago deserves better than Mickela Panday's weekly delusions and The Guardian's shameful amplification of them. We deserve serious political discourse, honest journalism, and respect for the democratic process. The people have spoken. It's time Panday listened.